Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about an EDC kit that I'm building. This is a more budgeted EDC kit. I bought some budget items on sale and from the $1.25 store, as well made some different items from home and using spare items I have lying around. Let's begin with the lighting on the top left. We have the Olight iMorse. This is a USB-C keychain light. It has two modes and it's IPX rated and it's rechargeable. I had this in the kit because I wanted a rechargeable handheld light that has two different modes and can run for a long time. I also got it for a relatively inexpensive price of around $6 on the Olight sale. Next to it we have the i3E EOS, also from Olight. This is a AAA battery powered light and it has one mode, and I also got it for around the same price as well. I wanted a handheld flashlight that uses a modular battery system. The AAA battery system is a good modular system to have because they're common around everywhere and you can find them relatively easily in case the other lights in the kit die. Next to it we have a SOL Adventure headlamp. I got this on sale as well from the local brick and mortar store for around $8. This particular light has two different LEDs on it and two different color modes. It has a floody LED with several different running modes of low, medium, high, and it also has a gradient dimmable switch, and it has a red LED and a blinking red LED. It also has a spot type of LED inside, which is also dimmable and has three different modes. It runs on a 500 milliamp hour battery. It's IPX4 rated, and it is relatively small and compact, which will work pretty well for the EDC kit that we have here today. I wanted something that could be hands-free operation, and instead of holding a light like the other two, this one could be on my head, and hands-free operation is pretty valuable. Starting on the top here, we have a whistle, which I put some small square mirrors on and taped them and glued them down for protection. We have a signaling device, which is audible and also visual. So having a signaling type of mirror and a whistle is a good idea in an EDC kit. Once again, this EDC kit is a budget kit, and it's for a rural, four-season area for around town mainly, and sometimes work where I work out in the parks. Hence why I have a whistle and a signaling mirror in the kit. Next to it, we have a lighter, which I got from the $1.25 store in a pack of 3. It's your basic lighter with a adjustable flame output. I wanted something that could be inexpensive, but I could still use as a lighter. I haven't wrapped this one in cordage around the whole entire unit to prevent it from depressing, as I plan on using this kit fairly often. Next to it, we have the first multi-tool. This is a Victorinox signature light. It's very similar to the classic, but with a few exceptions, and that is the tools that come in the scale here. In the scale, we have a light, which is battery operated, and you can replace the battery. It's a white light. And in the other side, we have a pen. So we have a lighting element, a writing element, and a cutting element in one tool, which is very valuable to me in my EDC needs. We have the knife here. This is a nice sharp knife, high quality steel. And we have the file along with the Phillips head tip. On the other side, we have some high quality scissors, which are very sharp and good for finer work. And it's replaceable spring here. I got this on eBay for around $8, and they are kind of hard to find at that price, but I jumped on it, so it was another budget buy for the budget kit here. Now, attached to it on the lanyard that I put on here from another piece of gear, we have the Olight multi-tool. I got this as a winning thing on one of their giveaways, and we have a pry bar here, some channels to unscrew different types of screw heads, and a hex tool here. So it's a basic strong pry bar tool basically to take the place of any other pry tools that I have in the kit, and plus it's free, so it fits with the budget option of the EDC kit here. And you can also cut stuff with the tip here. This is not sharp, but it's good enough to go through tape of shipping boxes and whatnot, so it's a quasi cutting tool. Down below we have the Gerber dime. This was a recent purchase as well. It has a box cutting tool here on the side. And we have some scissors here as well. On the outscale, we have some tweezers, which are really handy to have, these small ones with a point on the end. And on the back of it, as you can see protruding out, we have a bottle opener along with the key ring holder. On this side, we have the main blade, which is a little bit thicker than the Victorinox, so this might be the main cutting blade that I have for a tool in the EDC kit here. And then on this side, we have two tools. We have a flathead screwdriver, which is a little bit thicker than the flathead screwdriver on the Victorinox and a little bit more sturdier. And we also have a flathead 2D Phillips screwdriver, rather. And this particular model has some cuts on the side here and cross hatching for a makeshift file in course. I don't know how practical that size is going to be, but it should be worth noting on the Gerber dime. And finally, this is a plier based tool. As you can see in the top here, we have somewhat of a needle nose plier head, and then we have a regular plier here in the center, and right at the bottom here we do have a small wire cutter as well, and this is spring assisted as well. Next to it we have a nail clipper that I got for $1.25. This is the bigger size, good for cutting cords and other cordages out there. On the bottom here, I have a book that my friend Andre gave me. This is a field notebook, so it's got some nice paper to write on and keep notes on for. Well worn, well used. I figured I could use some writing material in the EDC kit here. And next to it, we have a do-it-yourself kind of pen, a DIY. This is a multi-tool type of pen that I've come up with. Obviously, as you can see, we have some duct tape wrapped around the bottom part, and we have a good length of sewing thread on the outside as well. And we also have some electric tape on this side too, wrapped around the cap here. Now this still functions like a regular pen, but inside the pen, if we take it apart here, we can see there's sewing needles inside of here. So this is a sewing kit as well. So I decided to make a small pen with sewing needles and repair tools on it. And the pen itself, you can get a pack of 10, sometimes 15 of these for about $3, so it's a budget buy. And we had some extra duct tape and electric tape lying around the house, as well as sewing thread. Down below here, we have some hair ties, which I use as rubber bands because they're a little bit more resilient than regular rubber bands. Not all of them, but most of them. And we have some safety pins here as well. So safety pins are pretty good for poking holes and things with a finer point, and for holding clothes, obviously, if you're trying to sew or repair things. So a good item to have in the EDC kit here, along with the rubber bands of various sizes. Next to it, we have another fire item. This is a ferro bar that I just got, and it's got the striker side here. We have the measurements in here, millimeters. And it also says kilometers on this side here, which is quite interesting. And we have a small hexagon tool for opening things. Next to it, with the fire capability, we also have some stormproof matches with the striker in here, inside some Ziploc bags, along with 4 birthday candles for maintaining our lighting element. It's always good to have some candles on you in case you need to prolong your fire burning methods without having to waste a match or fuel. On the bottom here, we have some cotton balls here. We have not soaked these in Vaseline. I like my cotton balls a little bit more drier, and I can fluff them out easily and use a spark to maybe start a fire with, or just get things going. Underneath all this stuff, we have dental floss waxed, about 15 feet inside of here, and we have some hot glue sticks and a few buttons. We use the dental floss for cordage. Even though it's for flossing, it's actually a pretty strong cordage to use. I wouldn't put any heavy weight on it, but you can use it for daily activities, just nothing high load bearing on the cordage itself, and it's a good option instead of buying 550 paracord, which can be pretty bulky when it's in this amount, this length anyway. Next to it, we have the hot glue sticks, which are great for repairs in case you can't tape something down or sew it together. You can simply melt it and seal things up with it. So that's always a good item to have with you. And we have some buttons here for toggles if we need it. On the bottom here, we have a compass. This is the air dampened compass. I like my air dampened compasses better than the liquid filled ones, as the liquid ones tend to break under cold pressure, and over time they just stop working. I've had good luck with the air dampened ones, and I generally prefer them. All button compasses will break eventually, so that's not to say these aren't bomb proof. I just like them a lot better as a personal preference. Then finally, we have some potable aqua. This is chlorine dioxide tablets. We have 2 of them in the bag here, so we can treat water if we come across it that we are questioning. And I generally keep a couple of Ziploc bags in the kit here, so you can put that in one of the bags and then put water in the bag, and you have yourself some purified water, hopefully. Moving along, we have a Mylar space blanket. These are multi-use items. You can capture water with this. You can make a shelter with it. You can retain heat with it. You can signal with it. There's a whole lot of different things you can do with this, and it's just a good item to have in an EDC bag, especially if it's going to be geared towards a rural or outdoor situation. Next to it, we have a small vial or small bottle of hand sanitizer. Again, another multi-tool or multi-useful item. You can burn this to start a fire with as a flammable accelerant, and you can clean yourself or use it in a medical emergency to clean wounds and whatnot. So just a good idea to have something like this in your kit, and we have the small bottle because we're trying to fit it in our small bag here. The bag down here, we have some paper clips here. Those are also pretty good. If you cut them a certain way and bend the rest of the metal and you put it under lighter or flame for a long enough time, you can temper it and make it stronger potentially to fish with. So they're a makeshift fishing hook if done properly and if the metal's right. We have a charging cable. This is a mini USB charging cable with a adapter for USB-C as a redundancy for the charging system we have with the USB-C iMorse. This comes with a small cable itself. We have another cable here that can also charge the headlamp here and the keychain light. Next to it, we have a medical kit. This is an Ouchie Boo Boo kit that I got for about $1.25 in the $1.25 store, plus liquid skin for $1.25 as well. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of the $1.25 store now. It used to be the dollar store, but there's still some good items in that store that they still make and have been there. And this is your basic Ouchie Boo Boo kit with some gauze, alcohol pads, butterflies, bandages, and just basic Ouchie Boo Boo stuff that you might want to have on your daily EDC kit. It's not going to be a trauma kit with like tourniquets or whatever, but we have a separate medical kit just for that on the side. So I figured having a little Ouchie Boo Boo kit can be pretty practical and helpful. Next up, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit this in the bag, but this is a basically small bag kit full of wipes for DEET, so insect repellent, and poison ivy treatment. So out in the woods, you might come across poison ivy, you might have to treat it. It's always a good idea to have some kind of medical items for that and preventative measures against being bitten by ticks and other annoying bugs outdoors. So that's why we have some insecticide repellent, or DEET repellent, if you will. And we have that in a Ziploc bag here too as well. Next to it on top, we have some denture brushes. So these are good multi-use items, so you can just not only brush your teeth with it, but other things. I keep 2 in there, one for potentially yourself and another for external use. So always a good idea to have a few of these. I like to have some kind of brushing method in my kits, and this is small enough to fit into the small EDC pouch that we're running with today. Underneath it, we have some, or next to it rather, we have some zip ties. These are always handy to have in case you don't have the dexterity to tie knots. and get into small places to tie those knots. These do come in handy for that, these zip ties. Underneath the zip ties, we have a small handkerchief. It's almost as big as a bandana, this one. I got it, again, for $1.25 for a pack of 2. And it's always good to have some sort of cloth material in your EDC bag because you might need to tie something up, use it as a sling, use it as a filter, use it as a mask, and as a cleaning cloth. There's a whole variety of different things you can use these for. Definitely have one in your kit. I do recommend it, and that's why we're running it in our kit here. Next to it, as an example, what we have in the pen, we have this sewing kit, which I put in the pen before. I didn't take out all the needles because we have it right here. You can get this for about $2 in Walmart or online in a pack of 4. Definitely worth having, especially the curved needles that make it a little bit easier to sew with. And you have a variety of different needles, especially a canvas needle, which can be very useful to have. And then on this side, we have some TP in a Ziploc bag. I'm a big fan of Ziploc bags, as you can tell, as they're pretty good at organizing things and keeping things dry. And one of the things you want to keep dry is TP, because you can burn it and obviously use it for other things. Last but not least, we have a hank of 550 paracord. We're not going to use this whole entire hank, but we might as well probably cut it up and put it on the outside handle to save some space on the inside of our EDC bag. It's always good to have 550 paracord. You can gut it, use the individual strands for makeshift cordage, tying things down, or just use the rail cord itself for a stronger tensile strength for tying down other things as well. And finally, we have the Maxpediton EDC pouch. We have the mesh pocket in the front here, hook and loop field in the front here, YKK zippers. I got this for about $19.95 online, which is a relatively good deal considering the name and brand of this and the quality gear that they make. This is the inside, and we can see it has a whole row of webbing here. We have 2 pockets here on the inside here, so we can stuff things and organize it pretty well. And we got the keychain holder here as well, and a loop holder here. And this is the back with the handle, which we can put the paracord on. And we have some molly straps on the back too for mounting to our gear if we want to. And that is the EDC bag that I plan on putting together. We're going to go ahead and put everything inside and see how it looks. So we're all set now. We couldn't fit in our poison ivory treatment items and one of the insect repellent wipes, but that's okay. We pretty much put everything else into the pack here. On the outside, we do have our medical kit or ouchie boo boo kit and an extra Ziploc bag. And then we also have our hand sanitizer here, which is nice and securely inside. It's not going to fall out of this mesh pocket in the front with the Velcro securement area. On the back here, we have our paracord, the 550. We wrapped it around the handle here. So it's about 10 feet or so worth of cordage. Not a whole lot, but gets the job done. And we added an extra item that we didn't go over before, and that is the lip balm or the chapstick here in the upper left corner of the pack. You'll notice on the front webbing here, we have the Victorinox, the pen, the 2 brushes, zip ties, the 2 Olights, the charging cable, and that's a micro, and the C adapter, so we can both charge the Olight and the headlamp. We have the lighter and some paper clips. We have the Gerber mini tool, and then we have our headband strap being held into place for our headlight here for securing. Underneath the first row of webbing is the second row of webbing, which is a bigger channel slot. We have our matches and candles, and in this slot here we have our paper clips, or rather safety pins, and our rubber bands underneath this bigger strap here. Over here we have our cordage, about 12 to 15 feet of basic waxed dental floss, and we also have our glue sticks and buttons. In this channel we have our water purification tablets, and then next to it we have the Olight pry bar tool on the end here beneath the pen and the Victorinox here. In the back pockets here we have the toilet paper, we have the Mylar space blanket, we have the cotton ball packet in there, and we have a few other items as well inside here in the back. On this bigger deep pocket beneath all this stuff in the front, we have obviously the lip balm that we added, but we also have the book, the handkerchief, and a few other items as well hanging out in the back there. Plus we also have the ferrule rod here and the secondary webbing strap here along with the striker. So that is the entire EDC kit there. It's fairly well packed, but it does zip up and it's fairly tight and secure. I don't always make a lot of EDC kits, but when I do, it's always with ham radios. This is one of the kind of EDC kits. It's more of a baseline, basic one. And again, this is for a rural setting, 4 seasons. I generally work outdoors, so it has some outdoor stuff, emergency stuff with it that I can use. And again, this is not going to be an answer for your EDC needs necessarily. Just want to put that out there. And also, this is a budget kit, so I don't have some of my more expensive items inside of it. That being said, this is a fun project to do and make and create, and I thought I'd share it with you guys and show you how I make my EDC bags here. I want to thank you for watching and enjoy your day.